Well, hey everybody, it's Dive Girl Dab. As a lot of people know, I've had this wood here in the house drying, and it's been a couple months. Now, this tongue and groove came about 11% moist, and the oak slabs were pretty dry, but not fully dried, and the cedar, I got 3 of those, were really fresh cut. So today I got my moisture meter to show up, and so if you look on the, I saved the little scale on the back here, and so it helped remind me of what woods are what. And so I'm going to go with the C rating because most of this is fir and oak, so cedar's on the B. But let's just take a look. Make sure I have that on the right mode. That's D. There we are. Let's see. And hold. Okay. And let's take a look here at this oak. There we go. That's dried out quite a lot. That's 5 and 6. And that one's 7, almost 8%. So it's definitely dry enough to build with. I'm going to put it outside and let it take up a little bit of moisture just so it acclimates. So let's go and switch. I think the cedar said B, so let's switch and hold that one and see what it says. So that's showing about 10% on the cedar, which, considering that that was pretty freshly cut, I think, when I was out there. Of course, it was dead from the fire last year, so it did have some opportunity to dry while it was standing. Because remember, the cedars from the harvest fire that hit us so bad last summer. That's why it's a second grade. It's got some bug damage to it. But let's check this oak. Let's check the cedar down here. Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good. This one in the middle is a little wetter. They have been rotated around, so that's good. Let's go. There's C. Let's check the oak here. And that's about 10%. That's not too bad, George. Almost 12. Hey, I'm happy with that. This wood is dried out nicely, and it's pretty straight. I noticed that this one on the top here has quite a little bow to it. But I have a 25% waste factor, so I'm not too worried about that. I'll find a use for it. So I think, George, what's next? Oh, kiddo. I know, is it's time to take this fur out and start to mill it. Because I need to run all this through the planer. And if I get that out of here, that'll free up a lot of this floor space. And then the oak will go right out onto the workbench so I can start building that rudder. One slab I'm going to put on the garage floor for another day because I might use it for countertop or tabletop sort of thing. But yeah, I'm going to call this a big success. It was totally worth it to bring this wood into the house for a couple of months and get it to stabilize. You just ate your chicken, huh, kitten? That's why you're licking your chops. Yeah, so that's the update. Yeah, my moisture meter finally showed up. It's not a high dollar one, but it gives me enough of an indicator now where I had none before. So it's better than nothing. And I knew that this fur was already 10-11% because the fellow I bought it from told me that. So I didn't really expect it to change much, but I really wanted to make sure that oak was settled because that's what I'm getting ready to use. So now that it's dried, I think this stuff will get moved outside, and that way it will be able to kind of take up some of the ambient moisture, which is going to be the moisture that it's going to live in, and give it a chance to stabilize to the ambient conditions outside of the house in a covered location, which is the garage floor. And then it should be just absolutely perfect to start building with. So I had a lot of guys that were giving me a hard time and going, Deb, how are you going to dry that wood? You're not going to be able to dry that to use that. Well, I can adapt to just about any situation and think of a solution. And I'm really happy, George, that this one has worked out beautifully. This wood is dry now and ready to go out. And you know, the weather's warming up, so I'm going to be outside more, and now I've got materials to start working with. Hi, George. Yeah, it's a good thing. All right, so yay to a moisture meter. I didn't pay much for it. A little low cost one on eBay, but it tells me more than I knew before, so that's great. So there we go. Wood is dry and ready to start working. That makes me happy. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Good things are going to start here pretty soon. I'm going to start production this summer, I think, and get some bulkheads built. Yeah, let's go look at my pile. So since the last time you guys were here, I did add a few things. I've got some cedar or copper with nails in here, and I've got screws in here. These are some really nice silicone bronze screws that I'm going to use on the bulkhead itself. And then this copper flashing will go along that leading edge of my rudder and get nailed on, which will be great. I bought a couple of rolls of pexs, hot and cold, obviously the blue and the red, 100 feet of each. I got a nice long chimney brush, which you might wonder why, and I got another big chimney brush here. It's because I want to clean out and scrub the insides of the tube on the trailer, and this one I might actually cut into a tube size because I want to blast out all of the rust in there and any salt, and then I'm going to blow some paint in there after I do some rust preventative. And so yeah, I got the packs. These are some I think 306 stainless steel crimps and some one-handed crimping pliers for packs, which is going to be really great. Yeah, some of the new stuff that I got. And then, of course, these are some nice silicone bronze all-thread rods with some bolts, which I'm going to use to bolt the rudder together. So that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, my pile is growing. I even got this is a mosquito net because I don't need to get bit by any more bugs in my life. And then, of course, I bought a flag kit, which came with an American flag and a Ukrainian flag. The Ukrainian flag I bought to support the war effort because the Ukrainians need our solidarity. And it was just almost dirt cheap to buy the 2-pack, and I got a pretty good size American flag to go with it because I just had a smaller one down there before. So that's like 3x2. It'll be good size for the boat. Yeah, so my pile of pieces and parts are growing. I do have more piping. I need fuel line, I need waste lines, but this is going to get me some water supply lines. And additionally, I can hook this up to the back or to the water system on the hot side of my Dickinson diesel stove, and I could use that as like a radiant floor heat in the boat also. So 200 feet of that is going to be great to have around. It'll be more than enough for a 30-foot boat and then some. But I think I could find a lot of good uses for that. I do want some washdown pump on the boat as well, so I'll need a little bit for that. But I'm kind of stuck because I'm starting to get out some of the pieces and parts put together pretty well here. There's all kinds of crap in this room, but it is coming together a little bit at a time. I just got the some covers ordered, and I'm excited about that. So this is a cover that I bought for my sofa, and it's the dark blue with the gold hexagons. I went with the light blue and the white hexagons for the boat. And that was because it most best matched this orca tapestry that I have, which I'm thinking about putting on the ceiling. So, yeah, that's going to look kind of cool together. And I have some other like honeybee related stuff going in the boat. And of course, I've been setting up out here on the patio. I got my planer out, and I've got to run some of these smaller boards through here as testing samplers. I want to take down the size on this a little bit to take out some weight. And I'm going to put my tarp down underneath and collect all the shavings, and I can use those on the chickens. So that'll be a good way to reuse those. But yeah, I'm going to start running that tongue and groove through the planer, clean up the sides, and then it'll get stored in the garage. So because that's on top, and then I will bring that cedar out and dress the sides on that a little bit, and then that's just going to get set aside because I think I'm going to use that for the ceiling. You know, we call a ceiling basically the walls in a boat, just to hold off from the outside of the hole and create an air gap through there so your stuff's not touching the walls. You don't get so much mold, and when the boat lists over, you're not going to get everything quite as wet. Huh, George? You're kind of grumpy today. So I'm thinking I'm going to take that cedar and use that for the ceiling, a good bit of that. Now I did take one of those big fletches that I had, and I cut it down and made some cedar boards here that I'm letting dry out. Boy, that stuff's hard to cut because it has an awful lot of sap in it. So that's okay. I'll deal with that. But yeah, things are moving along. We're getting closer to starting production. And I'm not going to work out in the cold. I'm just too old for that kind of thing. And at this point, it's like whatever keeps me comfortable is what I'm going to do. And working in the winter in the cold, not going to happen. So I just went online and bought things as I could. I did sell a bunch of stuff online, and that's helping to pay for this. So I'm not too deep into my own personal budget right now, which is nice. But I'm trying to make some smart choices for the boat because, you know, I think things like pexs are a smart idea. I'm sure I'll make some mistakes, but I can fix that. Whatever I can screw up, I can fix. So yeah, the wood is dry. That was a real big point for me that I didn't want to move that until I knew it was ready, but I think we're ready now. Yahoo! Time to start some production. Yeah, baby.